It's time for the player ratings for today. Start with Martin Dubravka, Paul.
Didn't have a great deal to do really, but picked the ball out of the back of the net. That was it. So what, 4?
Oh, again, one shot, one goal, wasn't it really?
Yeah, so you can't really give more than that, no?
Left back, I'm going to Paul Dummett. Wasn't spectacular, wasn't great. His crossing wasn't great either today going forwards. But Brighton didn't really offer a massive threat going forward, so I'll go 5 out of 10 for Paul Dummett today. The first centre half, Fernandez.
Probably our best defender on the day. Probably our best defender. Was at least trying to make something happen, trying to make a difference, trying to be vocal. So what, 6? A generous 6 probably.
Jamal Lascelles, I thought he struggled today, I have to be brutally honest. It just, one thing that really winds me up, he just hasn't got the balls to get a long ball forward or to try a longer pass. He always plays it to the right back and plays safe. But physically I thought he lost the ball a few times, he was out-muscled a few times, so I'll have to give him a 4 today. Right back was DeAndre Edlin.
Again, it seems to be this thing that when he goes away for an international duty, he comes back and he's a bit lacklustre. Didn't offer much going forward, didn't do a great deal, again, going backwards defensively, so what, 4? 4?
We'll start in the middle of midfield. Mo Diame, did he do much? He lost the ball a few times today and he seemed to run out of ideas. I don't know about you, Paul, but I wouldn't give him anything more than a 4 today.
I'd have given him less.
Yeah, really?
It literally just an absolute waste of oxygen. Oxygen thief all over the pitch. Kept giving the ball away, couldn't pass forward, couldn't pass back, tackling, fouling, giving stupid, needless things away. Senseless, no intelligence on the football pitch. I'd have given him maybe a 2 at top. Really would have.
Meet in the middle, we'll go 3.
Yeah.
John Joe Shelby.
Shelby, probably our best player on the day. Trying the Hollywood balls, but the thing is the Hollywood balls are up to, well, who are they up to? Nobody, because there's nobody there. So he's trying, and if we had somebody decent up top, he would be a lot better, but probably best performer of the day, what, 7?
I agree, I think it was man of the match for us, which is telling us something again.
Yeah.
On the left, we had Kennedy to start with. He gave the ball away a few times, but he has that little bit about him that he can get a good shot on. He can, when his skill works off, it works off really well. I don't think he was our worst player today by any stretch, but I couldn't give him any more than 5 today. I think he only had 1 shot on goal, which I thought was in for a second, but nothing of real intent today.
Average, and again, what you want him to do is just to drive more into the box and make
100%.
Not keep stopping and checking in, and it allows them to reorganise, and you know, we need more. He's capable of a lot more. But yeah, skillfully our best player, but today, no.
On the right we had Matt Ritchie.
Hard working. It's the things you would say every single week about Matt Ritchie. He huffs, he puffs, but he ain't blown any houses down. Where's the assists, where's the goals? You have the work rate and you have the little grunts and all this sort of thing, but again, bang average score, maybe what, 4?
Jose Perez, 3, and I'm being generous on the 3 out of 10 today.
I'd have given him 0.
He was awful today.
He was diabolical.
He gave the ball away so many times. There was times where he was dinking in the box. We were begging him for him to shoot, especially in the second half when we just didn't look like scoring. It was really poor from him, but he has that performance in him. He has one good performance every 5 or 6 games. He really needed to step up this season, in my opinion.
He hasn't had it this season, though, has he? No. That second half, that second part of last season, he had it. But this season, I don't know how he's getting in that team, how he's a starter, and how he's not being taken off. Today, we were screaming where I was sat at for him to be taken off. He offered 0. Nothing in tackling, no passing, no shooting, and again it comes down to football intelligence. There was none on display whatsoever. I wouldn't give him not even a 1.
Not good enough. Not good enough.
No.
Up top, Yoshinori Muto scored against Manchester United. What do you think, Paul? Did you think he did anything today that says that he should still be in the squad more, still be in the starting level more often?
You've got to start him because he's at the moment. Obviously, we've not seen enough of Rondon, but he's been busy, bright. He's trying to make some stuff happen. It didn't come off today, but you've got to start him again. I would like to see Muto and Rondon start. Yeah. Maybe Muto in the slightly withdrawn role and Rondon up top. But today, again, didn't do a great deal. Didn't score. But wasn't warranted to come off, in my opinion. He'd be 6? 6.
Replacing Yoshinori Muto was the big man, the main man, Hosselu. Was offside. touched the ball twice when he came on, so I'm going to have to... What else did he do? Like, I kind of think I'm scratching my head here.
He took a shot, didn't he, from what, 20 yards out and hit the corner flag?
No, he went for a throw-in, so 3. And like, it might be harsh, but we've got nothing else. We've got nothing else.
I'd have given him lower. He was that bad.
But you only had 20 minutes. That's the only thing I will say.
Yeah, about 19.5 minutes too long. Absolutely shocking.
Yeah, no, finally Rafa Benitez. Now, there was a couple of moans and groans when Muto came off for Joselu. Should he have maybe taken off a more defensive type of player and gone more attacking? Or should he have just stick with what he known that might have got him out of trouble?
To me, as I'm behind Rafa. I think he's the best candidate for the job, but he's not beyond
criticism.
Criticism. To me, today we're losing a game at home in a game that we really needed the 3 points, never mind even 1. I would like to have seen a change of formation, take a defender up, put an attacker on, do something, and he didn't, and he looked nervous and apprehensive, and by the looks of all the interviews after the match, he doesn't look like the Rafa that we know, so maybe it is getting to him a bit, but I think on today's performances, it's got to be, what, a 3 out of 10. Really, really bad today. But I'm still in the Rafa in camp, if there's a Rafa in and Rafa out camp.
If there's a Rafa in and a Rafa out, I think I'll have to stop getting a season ticket, because what can he do with a limited budget? Yeah, I probably agree with 3 out of 10. I probably wouldn't have given much more than a 4, but I'll go with 3.
Yeah.
Get your comments in below. Let's see what you think. Should Rafa have made a substitution earlier? Who was our best player? I'd like to know who you think the best player was today, because we've been talking about a lot of negatives. Get your comments in below, and thanks very much for watching.